Do we actually reap what we sow? Is the energy that we put out the energy that we can expect back in return? When it comes to attraction, it's not always about the physical. Sometimes the type of life you lead can attract certain kinds of characters in your life. Gossipers, cheaters, liars are some of the negative types, but a positive vibe can also attract financial opportunities, educational prospects, or even the perfect spouse. We'll discuss the law of attraction on this episode of the Talk to Q radio show. No experts, just opinions. Buckle up.
T2Q Radio.
Hey, what up, Q? What up, Radio World?
What's going on, people? I want to welcome all of you to another episode of the Talk to Q radio show. My name is Quincy, and this is my show. And I'm broadcasting once again live from the south side of the T2Q Man Cave. Today is Tuesday, November the 9th, 2021, and this is episode number 967. Please be sure to click that like and share button right now, as this show is entirely supported by you. I absolutely need you in order for this show to thrive. So please take a few seconds to like the show and share. All right. Thank you. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TalkToQ. And I'm also on TikTok, believe it or not, at TalkToQ now. So tonight we are discussing the law of attraction. Let me go to the T2Q virtual phone lines to see who will be joining the mix this evening. Let me start here as I go to the Sunshine State of Florida and welcome on the homie Brad. Brad, welcome back to the show, man. How's it going?
Thank you. Hey, I'm adding you to TikTok right now.
I appreciate that. See, that's what I like. I like when people show their support. That's what's up, Brad. Glad to have you, man. Good to see you.
I got you.
All right. And let me welcome on this gentleman from the 601 area code in the Magnolia State of Mississippi and bring back the homie Bailey. Bailey, what it do?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Brad, what's going on, man?
Hey.
What's going on?
All right.
And Brad, you see how he came in with the voice. Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, what's going on, y'all?
I'm gonna talk lower now. Hey,
I wake up like that, Q.
Okay.
I'm just gonna talk higher.
Don't do that. All right. So let me go to the Empire State, up top of the country to New York, and welcome on the author, Miss Love Tucker. Love, what's going on?
Hello, everyone.
All right. Shout out to Erica in the Pelican State of Louisiana. Tashura says Bailey got that berry black going on, not berry white, berry black, huh? All right, and I got a couple of show legends, so I got to welcome them into the mix. From the 732 area code, the Garden State of New Jersey, please welcome on the voice of reason, Amanda. Amanda, what's going on?
Hey, Q. Hey, everyone. Hope everybody's having a good night.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Good.
All right. And a couple of more and we'll get started.
She's your queen.
Residing in the Lone Star State of Texas, please welcome show legend Queen Cole to the Talk to Q radio show. Queen, what's going on?
Hey, good evening.
What's going on? Glad to have you on.
Thanks for having me. I can't wait for this conversation.
I'm gonna say I hear a little voice in the background too.
Yes, I'm a grab my own duty too.
Okay.
He's about to take a bath, so He getting situated.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. And last one, and we'll get started. From the 850 area code, the Emerald Coastline of Pensacola, Florida, making his way to the ring, the man in black, the Buckster. What's going on, Buck? Buck, what it do? Got you on mute. I can't hear you, bro.
Glad to have everybody on tonight. How's everybody doing this evening?
Doing well, man. All right.
Excellent.
Go ahead and kick things off. Now, we know that people, how people are physically attracted to someone. But what about being mentally stimulated by someone? Can you be attracted to someone's mind? Okay, now you've probably heard of the term sapiosexuals. A sapiosexual is someone who finds intelligence attractive or arousing. So, Love, I'm going to start with you. Do you believe there's a such thing as being attracted to intelligence?
Absolutely. I am very much attracted to very intelligent people. If he's a nerd, I'm with it. Because you need to have stimulating conversation. How are you going to have conversation with someone who doesn't know anything? That don't make any sense.
Okay.
You want to sit there and look at each other? Y'all look cute. That doesn't make for anything. But if you got something to say, then, how else are you going to talk all night on the phone? Just say.
And Amanda, what do you think? Can a person's mind be attractive?
Absolutely. I agree 110% with Love. That's been my experience. I think that the mental connection or the intellectual connection, because you do have to be able to carry on that conversation and have things in common and have things that bring you together. That's very attractive, more so than just the physical, because the physical can kind of, not to say you can get tired of it, but it can be somebody, it's like, okay, you guys look good, like Love said, you guys look good together, or they're attractive, but there's nothing else going for them, or they can't carry on a conversation. They can't, they have no depth. Like that's not what you want, or at least not what I want. So I'm very much big on the intellectual attraction.
All right. And in the chat room, Tashura in Georgia says, I have met guys that I'm not physically attracted to, but during conversation, they got me. And she said team L7, yeah, for squares. And Carrie chimed in from Texas, one time for the sapiosexuals, love an intellectual man. And let's see, AR Crown says we are called sapiophiles. Okay. Carrie says the mental stimulation makes the connection stronger and deeper. All right, so there's some people on board, but all right, let me go to the fellas for a second. And Brad, let me go to you. And I get that women tend to be sapiosexuals, but what about guys? I mean, for us, the physical is prioritized more times than not. Can a guy be a sapiosexual?
Yeah, I think we can. However, I'll say this is that for me, there's got to be at least some bit of an attraction at first. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. But if she's got a great personality, intelligence, drive, that can take, from me, it could take a 5 to a 10. And I actually dated someone when I was much younger that, I kid you not, she could have doubled for Jennifer Love Hewitt. I was a much better looking version back then. But I could take her for no more than a month because she had no drive. She lived at home with her mother and stepfather. Everything was Debbie Downer. And I just, right. I couldn't take it, and I had to cut her loose.
Okay. Bailey, what do you think, man? Can a guy be attracted to a woman's brain? Can a guy be a sapiosexual?
Yeah, I agree. Especially when you're pretty smart yourself, so y'all start to share like interests. So it's pretty dope to be able to create a chemistry through having mutual interests in both being able to conversation.
All right, so Buck, it sounds like to me he's saying that you know you can't be dumb and then be interested in someone who's smart. You have to be smart yourself. Is that the case? Can do
I believe
two smart people match, or can a dumb person fall in love with someone who's smart?
Absolutely, that's the smart thing to do.
yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah,
I would.
yeah,
I don't want somebody that's not smart. I want somebody that has some intelligence. Because if you got somebody that's dumb, it's not going to work. Because especially with me, I got to have somebody that's smart and that's on the same page with me. If they're not on the same page, that vibe, I don't care what they look like. If they they don't match up to me, me from an intellectual standpoint, it's not going to work.
Okay.
Hey, Q, can I interject real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
And when I say smart, I'm not necessarily talking about degrees or just general knowledge, but because everyone's smart in their own way, depending on what you're interested in. But when they're smart in areas that you may lack in, or areas you may be interested in or curious in, and it's pretty dope. If you're into finance and I wanted to get into finance or investing, or if you're into cooking, or if you're in the garden, so just specific areas. So when I say smart, I really just mean maybe being tapped into an area that I'm curious in. If you're into, I don't know, so that may not interest me. So I might disregard how intelligent you are in that particular area. So it usually kind of paints to like what you're actually interested in.
All right. And that makes a lot of sense. And given today's society, if you can find somebody who knows something about finances, cooking, and gardening, you'll be on to something because, man, stuff is high. So the price is high on everything. And Erica said, I've lost interest in a sexy dummy before. And I totally get that. And I mean, I've heard people say all the time that, they're sapiosexuals and stuff like that. So I get it. But let's talk about how negative energy can impact your career. Okay. So many people feel as if they're never in the right place at the right time. However, they didn't realize that certain opportunities may not be presented to them because of their attitude. So if people like you, then won't they think about you like when an opportunity arrives and they realize that you may be qualified for it? So can positive vibes attract opportunities in the workplace? And Queen, I'll go to you on this. Can positive vibes attract opportunities in the workplace?
Yeah, I absolutely think that can happen because you got to think about when you interact with people. I mean, just say if you just on a podcast with somebody and y'all interact, and then maybe they have something they know you're interested in, they're going to think of you because they're like, you know what? That was a good vibe. So yeah, absolutely. People will be able to refer you and to help you out in that situation. Even if you're already at the job, then, like somebody moves on and they're like, you know what, there's an opportunity here, but you're not going to think about, well, you will think about the person that was being negative, but you're not going to think about them to come along with you. That's just like when you get elevated and you doing bigger and better things. There are some people that you're going to bring with you. And then the negative people, you're like, nah, I don't want that rain cloud following me. So yeah, absolutely. Your positive energy, your positive attitude will definitely attract and help you with more opportunities.
Okay. Love, do you agree? Do you think that just having the right opportunity, I mean, don't get me wrong, you have to be good at what you do, but having the right attitude can attract opportunities for you?
This actually recently happened to me. I was minding my business, and I got an email that was like, hey, remember me? I worked with you on X, Y, and Z. And I had to go back on the resume like, when the heck was this? And I promise you I didn't even remember who this was when I showed up to set. But they remembered me. They were like, oh, we had such a great time, blah, blah, blah. And I got booked for a photo shoot. And I was like, I don't even do that no more. So you could absolutely, your energy, like attracts like. So if you a good time, people are going to remember that. Was it Maya Angelou? People don't remember what you say sometimes, but they remember how you make them feel.
Mm-hmm.
You bring good energy, people feel good around you. They'll forget a bunch of stuff later on, but they'll go, you know what? Q, I like his energy. You know what? He's coming to this party. Like attracts like.
All right. All right. And so let's see. Let me go to Brad. Brad, let me go to Amanda. Amanda, let me ask you, what about people who are negative in the workplace? I mean, it seems like they just can't be happy with their job regardless. They can have the best job to outsiders, but they'll always find something wrong with it. I mean, have you experienced that?
For sure. It's a lot of people at work that look at things. They just have a negative attitude about everything. Even in the situation where with the pandemic, you're allowed, you're able to work from home, you're able to be comfortable. And it's like some people, they just can never be satisfied with the accommodations. And they're going to find a way to mess it up. They're going to find a way to be negative. They're going to find a way to not do their job, find a way to beat the system, find a way to have a nasty attitude just because. So I definitely see it at work, unfortunately, and it's not attractive because you hold on to that, like Love was saying, you hold on to the just the way, the impression that person makes upon you and their negativity, and it's just not something that it's like you would never want to recommend them for a job because they're so negative. So definitely.
Okay. And well, hold on. I was going to get Brad back in this. And Brad, do you agree? I mean, because we've all, dealt with people on the job who have something to say. Maybe they have complaints about how things are run around the office and things of that nature. I mean, even if they're right in their assessment, is it still like a way you do it to keep from coming off as a negative person?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because you have to know what to say and when to say it. And I think we talked about this the last show that I was in, how I view what kind of a manager I was for many years at the jewelry store. I was a bit more narcissistic. And so if things weren't done my way, I got nasty. They could have been done perfectly well, but it just wasn't the way. I would nitpick. And that, you know what? And you end up ruining relationships that way. So absolutely, people don't want to be around you. So you have to pick and choose your battles. And now the kind of person I am now, I'm quite a bit more laid back. And I realize there's a time where I got to shut my freaking mouth.
Okay. And so Bailey, a person who I guess is negative at work and misses out on opportunity means that they miss out on opportunities to make more money. And we know that money is very important today in society. It always has been. But when it comes to attracting things in your life through positivity, can you speak money into existence? I mean, what are some ways people can attract money without sliding down a pole to music?
Man, affirmations, man. I'm really big on the universe and law of attraction. There's a book called The Secret that really speaks on that. But there are a lot of universal laws, and you attract the energy that you project. You know what I'm saying? So when you're projecting negative energy, you hear the saying, "There's power in the tongue." Well, that's true. So the things you think about the most is what your reality will become. So when you focus on positive things, you will attract positive things and positive energy. Now, you may get some negative, and that's polar opposites. That's part of it as well. But manifesting is real. Affirmations are real. and so it's definitely something I believe in and I can attest to.
Okay. And so, all right, he talked about affirmations, and this is for whoever wants to answer this particular question when it comes to affirmations. I notice a lot of times there are a lot of people who feel like, you know, you can speak things into existence and that words are powerful and things of that nature. Like, for example, we hear people all the time say, I'm celibate. Okay. And the word celibate means that you're abstaining from marriage and sexual relations for religious reasons or whatever. No one really wants to abstain from marriage when they say they're celibate. They just, what they really want to say is that I'm abstaining from sex. That's what they should be saying, because when you're saying you're celibate, you're essentially speaking into existence that you're going to remain single for the rest of your life, you know? And so, I mean, words are important, but do you all agree with that? Do you think that affirmation, positive affirmations, like Bailey said, can actually bring about certain positive changes in your life? Can it attract those things?
I will say that it can help, but unless you have that drive, you're not going to go anywhere, because I think we've all worked with people before who might have said, I'm going to be making this much money, I'm going to be doing this, but they had nothing in place to move to the next level. So unless you actually do something about it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, because even the Bible speaks about that. It says faith without works is dead. So you have to say what you want to do, but then you have to go after. So I can say, Q, I want to be a millionaire and I need this job. But then if I never put in the application, if I don't have my resume together, if I show up to the interview late or anything like that, you got to put the work in. So the universe, God, whatever you believe, is going to push and do the hard work, but you got to do something. You can't just think it's not no genie in the bottle kind of thing, like, ooh, I want this. Poof, here it is. No, you have to actually go out and pursue it. And, you know, you're going to have obstacles, but then that's where your faith is going to take you that further extra step to be able to obtain those goals and things that you want to. So, yeah. And then Q, this thing about celibacy, I gotta touch that, because it's not bad to be single. I think that when people are single, sometimes it can get misconstrued that you're not happy, you're miserable. But this is a great time to get to know you and to date yourself and to find out what you actually like. So at first, I was married for 17 years. So all my adult life, I was married. And when I became single, I didn't know what I wanted to eat for dinner. I couldn't go out to a restaurant or to the movies alone, because I am used to having people around me. But I had to say, you know what? I'm not lonely. I'm just alone. I can go here. I can go eat a good meal, not be on my phone, not play like I'm busy, I'm doing something. No, I'm going to eat a meal and enjoy it alone, because if I'm going to be asking a gentleman to be taking me out, then these are kind of restaurants I want to be going to. I want to know how to say, you know, escargot, caviar. I want to be knowing what I'm talking about instead of like, So I think when we're single, we have to take that time. And I don't want people to, you know, just because, and, you know, even me, I say like, I don't know if I want to get married yet. So while I'm single and celibate at this time, I need to take that time to enjoy it. Don't be miserable, because then you really ain't gonna get nobody, because you're gonna be all bitter and miserable. So enjoy your single season as much as you can.
Okay. All right. And Carrie in Texas says, I put a spin on celibacy. And let's see. Erica in Louisiana says, right, Queen, the affirmations mean nothing without action behind it. And Tashura says, sort of like a genie in a bottle, what you say is what comes to you. And yeah, you know, faith without works is dead. So you got to be able to put some action behind it. You can't just say it, because Lord knows if I just woke up and say I needed $37 million every day, I mean, it's not going to happen if I don't put some work behind it. But another thing about negativity, and Buck, let me get to you on this. Can negative behavior attract more drama and setbacks in life? I mean, can a person spiral out of control from their negative behaviors?
Oh yeah, definitely. Sometimes when you see people, and they have a surface, a surface about them of like they look like they're happy, they're making good money and things of that nature. But deep down inside, once you get to know those people, they're really, really negative. And people go through things in life, and sometimes they carry those on their sleeve, around with them, and they never let it go. You got to let those kind of things fall by the wayside, so that way you can be happy and move forward. But a lot of, some of the people that you run across in life, they just don't do that. They get roughed up in life, and they don't know how to handle themselves, and they don't do the things that they need to do to, put that behind them. And, that cloud, that rain cloud stays over them. And, I try to be positive in everything that I do. So, I don't want negative people around me, because they can really bring you down. So, just you have to make sure you have the company you keep is as positive as you are yourself.
All right, and you take me to my next point. And I'm glad you brought that up, because now, first of all, when I say a person is negative, I don't mean that they're nasty per se. I don't mean that they're insulting people or anything like that. What I mean by someone who has a negative personality is that maybe they have a pessimistic attitude about everything, or they suspect that everyone they meet has some sort of agenda when it comes to them. That's what I mean when I say negative in this particular case. And so, like Buck said, people with that type of mindset tend to attract like-minded people. And so let's talk about friendships. And Amanda, I'll start with you, and then I'll go to Love. But Amanda, when it comes to trying to make friends, is it safe to say that more than likely a negative person cannot be friends with a positive person?
I think that they can be friends, and one can influence the other. So you do have to be careful if you're a positive person, or if you're trying to not be negative and trying to have a positive mindset, and you're around a lot of people who have that pessimistic or negative mantra or negative mindset about everything, then it can, if you're not strong-willed enough, or you don't have enough positivity within yourself and around you to counterbalance that, then you can fall into those traps. Likewise, if you're around a person who's positive and you've been negative, it can change the way that you think. You can look at things and say instead of thinking the worst, you could say, well, what if I'm late for work tomorrow? Well, what if I'm not late for work tomorrow? What if what if I get up early and I have the best day? I stop by Starbucks. I get whatever your thing is, like whatever it takes. Just think of the positive, because a lot of times we can dwell on the negative. And I'm speaking for myself. I've been guilty of this, where I'll think of the worst case scenario, and I think that for a while it was almost like a protection. Like it's one thing to prepare yourself for the worst, but it's almost like I was expecting the worst with certain things. And when you expect the worst, and then in most cases the worst wouldn't happen, but I put myself through all that stress and lost sleep and worried about things, that if I had just said, okay, this could happen, but let's focus on the flip side of the best, or all the things in between those two extremes, I could have saved myself a lot of stress. So you have to be aware that things can go wrong, because nobody lives a perfect life. Nobody lives all for no bad things happen. But
okay,
can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, you kind of faded in and out, but we got you. All right, so Love, I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, is that why so many people who are like that find themselves being betrayed by their friends, so to speak? Because they invite the wrong people into their lives, and thus they get that betrayal that they claim that's happened.
It's kind of funny, because I think about, you might hear look at your 5 closest friends because they are, the sum of them kind of tells you about who you are. And I couldn't help but really extrapolate from that my sisters and I, right? Because I'm one of 4 girls. I'm the oldest, but I'm not going to say any names. Who knows when she might watch this? But one of my sisters used to have the nickname Aspirin, right? Because she would complain about everything. So it was like she was a pain in the neck. And to this day, she still complains about stuff. Every time you talk to her on the phone, every time there's a video chat, she's like, there's always at least 3 things that get on her nerves. And it's gotten to the point where, in August, the 4 of us took a cis trip together. And it was kind of like, her twin. So at least now y'all know it's one of the twins. Her twin was like, I don't want you to complain about it. I don't want to hear any complaints on this trip. And she was just like, oh, like she was appalled. And we were like, you complain about almost everything, right? So it was a matter of almost steeling ourselves for whatever thing that was going to happen, that she was going to say, because we came to expect that of her. So, to Amanda's point, I think there's a possibility you might be friends with someone who's negative, but you're probably not going to spend as much time with them as you may want to, because you're going, oh, every time I talk to you, everybody has a friend like that, right? You start to distance yourself. You go, oh man, every time I talk to them, I feel, like a therapist. I feel down now. And then, you got to shake off that energy. You go, I'm just going to throw the whole person away. Why do I have to deal with that? So I think it's possible, but not probable.
Okay. And I mean, it goes for friendships. It goes for relationships. And, a person has to be honest with themselves when it comes to this type of stuff. A person who can constantly find fault in other people will attract negative people and incidents into their lives more times than not. Whatever energy you admit is the energy that returns to you. It's kind of like an echo. And think about a negative person who works with you or just in general. And I can almost guarantee you that the closest person to them is probably someone who's negative too. I mean, that's just how it works. And what happens when a negative person talks to you? By the time the conversation is over, your mood has changed, so it's infectious. But when it comes to relationships, doesn't the same principle apply? Bailey, will people who exhibit bad energy attract other people with bad energy when it comes to relationships?
Necessarily. I think because opposites do attract. It's a thing as so is above, it is below. Opposites do attract. Now, over time, that positive person may become negative. Your negativity every day, but I think it's possible to attract positive.
Okay.
What's that saying we say all the time from Jay Prince that if you keep campaigning, you'll get elected. And so basically, energy that you're putting out, it's going to be returned to you. I think it's possible to be negative and to still attract positive. However, just over time, you may wear that positive person down when they just don't have anything else for you, and then they become negative.
Okay. And Queen, what do you think? You think that having a negative mindset will attract negative people in your life when it comes to relationships? Or do you think, like Bailey said, you can find someone positive, but more than likely you're going to wear them down?
With that, this can be a tricky one because sometimes people give their representative. You don't quite know who they are until maybe something does go wrong, and then they start going left, and you're like, whoa, who is this? Who are you? So sometimes you may get the little switcheroo, but when you find out when it's consistent, like my job, they did this, my family did this, at the school they did this, and they're constantly pointing the finger at other people and they're not taking that personal responsibility, then that's when you need to be like, okay, is this something that you want to continue to be in? And even if we go further with relationships, we got to talk about family too, because family can sometimes be negative also. And we like, oh, don't worry about it, ain't such and such or uncle such and such. That's just how they are. No, no, no. We got to change this narrative. We got to break these habits and correct people when they are doing that, because you got to watch your energy when you're around people. I mean, if like I'm here with Jada, helping with the baby, I have a guilty pleasure of M&Ms. I love peanut M&Ms, but it's only a certain time during the month that I like these. But the other day, you know, I'm like, I need a pack of peanut M&Ms. Jada went in, got a pack, got a shareable size, and I gave her some. And then later she's like, can I get some? I'm like, here you go. Gave her some. A couple of days later, she's like, come out. She got a bag and I got a bag. I was like, okay, that's how we gonna do it. So I have made an impact on her with these peanut M&Ms, and she don't even like chocolate. So we just got to be careful that how our energy changes when we're around people, because at the end of the day, you're going to start picking up these habits, and you're not even, it's going to be unconscious that you automatically, now you're reaching for peanut M&Ms when you're in a stressful situation.
Don't bring up peanut M&Ms. Now I want some. And let me catch up on some of these comments. Dope Discussions with Erica says, it's important to know that we all have negative thoughts and moments, but we don't want to live in that space 24/7. And she makes a good point. No one on here is saying that they're perfect and they don't have any bad thoughts, but it's just how you respond to it is what makes you a positive or a negative person. And she also says, if you have to brace yourself to talk to them, they are probably an energy vampire. And okay, so let me see, Brad, let me get back to you. And oops, that's not Brad. Let me get back to you, Brad, and ask you this. You know, I've heard people say that when it comes to relationships, like say they've been on a few dates and they'll tell you, oh, I'm vibing with this person, or we have a good frequency. What do you think they mean by that?
I think it means that they're just getting along with them at that moment. And I think probably it's the initial attraction that's kind of taken over. It may be a little bit of the personality, but you're not going to know right away if it's going to be a long-term thing, because you're going to have to go through those peaks and valleys to get to really find out who they are.
Okay. And anybody else want to chime in on that as far as vibing and frequency? I mean, when you're vibing with a person, what does that mean to you?
Well, vibing is short for, vibration and frequency. It's just when it's hitting on all cylinders, it's just another way of saying that, hey, I have synergy with this person. You know what I'm saying? You just, whether it's spiritual, physical, emotional, mentally, you just connected almost as one. So, vibing is short for vibration, and frequency is energy. You know what I'm saying? The energy between you all creates it's a synergy, which is a dope place. I guess it's equivalent to saying you're almost in love, or very much infatuated.
Anybody else want to add to that? I think
that's a great word that you use, infatuation. I think that's where we start sometimes because of the attraction. Our eyes see, we smell, maybe we held their hands. So I think that's where we started, and that's where the vibe comes from, because you're feeling. When I think of vibe, when I think of energy, how do I feel around this particular person? How do they make me feel? Like, am I feeling warm and toasty? Am I like, oh, I want to cuddle up? So that's what I think about when I think about vibe. I think about, how are they making me feel? And then, that's making me give off an energy as well. Like, okay, I like that, thank you, so I think that infatuation, that's a very good word that you used, Bailey, because I think that's sometimes where we start at.
All right. So when it's all said and done, isn't the reason people are negative is because they can't find out how to look at things from another person's perspective or for any other perspective? Is it as simple as changing your viewpoint and that person can no longer be negative? Or can a person be born negative and just be destined to attract bad things throughout their life? And that's for whoever wants to answer.
that's tough to say, because I think that for me, the times that I've been negative in my life is because of a prior experience, and I still haven't completely either let that go or healed from that particular situation. Like I mentioned before, I was married for 17 years. So when I come back out into this dating world, I'm like, doing stuff to protect myself. Like, oh, wearing my wedding ring for a year because I don't want nobody to ask me any questions. I don't want anybody to, hey, can I talk to you? No, it was like a protection thing. So some people are negative because they're trying to protect themselves from something that has happened before and they don't want it to happen again. So they're sort of anticipating, almost like a guard, like, I don't want you to come near me, just keeping people away. So sometimes we have to break through that if you feel that it's worth your time and your energy, because it's going to take time and energy to get past that block that they have, that negative block that they have, to get to the positive part. So I think it's past experiences that we haven't completely healed with or dealt with, period.
I mean, so how do you help someone? I'm in the middle here. It's almost like the Brady Bunch. Here's a story of a lovely lady. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm dating myself here. But I mean, so how do you help someone overcome this? Or like I said, do you think that some people are just born this way and it is what it is?
I think that part of it they have to come to the realization that they are not the center of the universe. They have to understand that their words can affect people, whether positive or negative. And it may be just a simple, hey, how did you feel when I said this? How did it make you feel? Well, think about this situation where you said this to that person. How do you think it made them feel? Because some people that are just negative, that's the way that they are. They may be narcissistic and they may not even care. But some people just don't even think about it. And once that switch is flipped, that can change their outlook moving forward.
Okay.
I disagree a little bit with Brad. I think no shade, Brad. Because I think it comes from, I mean, a little bit like what you said. There has to be a willingness to change that perspective, because, like Queen said, you are coming from a place of experience. So generally you want control. That's why those walls are built up, right? I couldn't control these things before. I'm going to keep people away. I'm controlling that. So I'm preventing, in their mind, I'm preventing further hurt. So they have to be willing to go, okay, you know what? Let me peek over the wall. You were like, nope, I don't want to peek over the wall. So if someone's willing to, I'm about to date myself too, Hugh. I forgot what show it was. What was it? Wilson. He was across the wall. You only saw his head all the time.
Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I ain't even really watched that show like that.
I didn't.
But to peek over and go, oh, you know what? I like you. I like what I'm hearing so far. And to kind of borrow a phrase from Real Shop Talk last night, those bricks. Then that person who built up the wall can go, okay, I'm going to pull this brick and I'm going to put it down on my side. And, oh, wow, Wilson, you got a face. Those kind of things will start to change that person's vibration, I think, once they start going, okay, you know what? I can be vulnerable, because that's the space where it comes from. I can't be vulnerable. I have to control everything. And because I've had all these things happen in the past, they're running that in their head the whole time. So I stay negative because I've experienced this and I don't trust and I'm not going to open up. So
that's what I was basically saying. I agree.
I translated it for you. See,
I may not have phrased it that way, but that's essentially. And when I said narcissistic, that's one of the possible reasons why that wall might be built up. But no, absolutely.
Okay. And no discussion said, I don't think anyone is born negative. Experiences shape their view of life, and they're not willing to accept any other reality except for the one they've created for themselves. That is a very good statement. Very good statement. And so, all right, one last quick question before we go to final thoughts. And this is for the ladies, and because I don't think this really applies to the guys. Ladies, let's talk about physical attraction. Okay. You know, guys, I mean, when it comes to physical attraction, you know, that's like very important to us. But when it comes to physical attraction for the ladies, if it's true, everything we discussed tonight is that positive attracts positive. So if that's true, as good-looking women, do you get hit on by a majority of good-looking guys? I guess that's the question I'm going to ask. I mean, do you all get hit on by a majority of good-looking guys, or do just any type of troll walk up and try to talk to you?
Trolls, wow. You know what? People with confidence shoot their shots every day of the week. They gonna shoot their shot. So it doesn't matter what they look like. They think they look good enough to try to talk to you. How about that?
Okay, Amanda.
Yeah, I absolutely
Queen?
agree with you, Love, because I absolutely agree with Love, because if the gym lights are on, they're gonna shoot their shot. That's just how it is.
I would say it's a mixed bag. Yeah, it's pretty much you get some of everything.
I mean, but come on, we just spent the whole night saying that, you know, this type of energy attracts this type of energy. So if you have a good looking energy, shouldn't you attract good looking energy?
But that's the thing, Q. They don't know. I mean, and I've seen this meme that says, "Look at you, and then look at me before you come into my DMs." And some people don't do that. They just think, you know what? The lights on. I'm gonna shoot my shot. But they gotta really evaluate themselves, because what you see online is my highlight reel. So you may not, know the total queen. You don't know me, besides what you see on social media. You may just like that. You may just be a fan. And that's okay. So you gotta be able to distinguish, because they're gonna shoot their shot if they have the confidence. It doesn't matter if they're negative or positive, because they don't really know you. They're only going by your highlight reel, what you put out there. I mean, and some people, women, put out some negative stuff also. So there are times where, Father's Day, women are saying, I'm the mom and the dad, and you look at it like, what? But people are in their DMs saying, hey, what's up? So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Dope Discussion says ugly dudes don't have anything to lose.
Sure don't.
Oh, wow.
They get rejected all the time.
We're not saying, and I'm not saying necessarily physically ugly, but their personality could be ugly. Like if your personality is ugly.
I was talking about physically ugly.
Oh,
and that's why you put it on me. As soon as you said talking about ugly,
you started talking, Brad. That's why I went to you, because you started talking.
No, I was on mute.
Yeah, I can say this.
I have some words.
Hey, there's some ugly women out there that shoot their shots too, and because they think that they're the best looking thing. So it's not just guys. There's ugly women out there that shoot their shots as well, because they think they're the best thing since sliced bread. So from a physical standpoint, they see a good looking man, they're going like, they know that they don't measure up, but they shoot shot anyway. So
do y'all like
it happens? It happens on both sides of the table.
Do y'all like when women shoot their shots? Because I can't shoot a shot. I'm gonna turn the lights on. I'm gonna have the ball stacked. I'm gonna have everything ready to. Yes. So do y'all like when women shoot their shot?
It could be a subtle. I can tell you something that happened to me here recently. I was out with one of my homeboys, and we were out just having a couple of drinks and just chilling out. And I did not realize at the time that she was actually shooting a shot towards me until after I went to the bar to get drinks. She let it be known that she was shooting her shot. And it was something very subtle. She was just trying on lipstick. She was putting on lipstick in the club. But the way she was putting it on, nobody does that. And I'm going like, it definitely got my attention. And I was going to say something, and I did say something when I went up to go get my drink. But women have subtle ways that they shoot their shot. It doesn't have to be something that's direct. It can be indirect, just to get our attention. If it gets our attention, you will get a response. But you don't want somebody that's uglier than the back of a Pinto shooting a shot. Because you're not gonna get a response, or get a negative response that you don't want.
Bailey, Brad, do you all care if a woman shoots her shot?
I don't mind as long as I'm somewhat attracted to her, because it's the ones that because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and I've been in that situation before where someone keeps trying, and even someone that might either not necessarily work with me, but because I was in a retail setting for many years, I had people that worked in the mall right across from me. And it's uncomfortable when you've got to see them every single day and they don't stop trying.
So
welcome to our world, Brad. Welcome.
Oh boy. Well, all I'm gonna say is that I'm glad my wife is a sapiosexual. All right. Next week on T2Q, we will be discussing relationships. Okay. I'll post a picture of a meme that I found on social media, and my guests will answer the questions in that relationship meme or give a response to the scenario in the meme. And I've stumbled across some very interesting scenarios, let me tell you. So please be prepared for that. That's next Tuesday, November 16th, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, here on the Talk to Q radio show. No experts, just opinions. And so we will go ahead and get to our final thoughts. And I think that's a Friday reference. Sounds like Miss Parker. But all right, we'll get to our final thoughts. And Queen, I will start with you, ma'am. Give your final thoughts on the evening on the law of attraction and, positive attracting positive.
Yes, this has been a great conversation. Thank y'all. This has been good. So thank you for having me. My final thoughts is just always be cognizant about what you're thinking, because even things that we don't speak, also things that we keep on our mind. You can be losing sleep, you can be stressed out, and then your body will start responding to that. So just be mindful about what you have on your mind that comes out of your mouth.
All right, real good. Plug what you do right quick.
All right. Well, I am Queen Cole. I am the host of Light the Path podcast. So you can follow me at One Queen Cole on all social media platforms. And then also at Light the Path podcast, I am celebrating my year 2 of podcasting. So I'm very excited about that. November is my 2nd year podcasting. And I am also an international best-selling author. I was part of an anthology, Forged by Fire, Built God Tough. So check me out. Let's connect.
All right. I appreciate you joining the show and taking the time away from grandma duties. And so next I will go to Bailey. Give your final thoughts, bro.
Dope show, man. Very much enjoyed being a part of it. I guess to sum it up, man, be real, be righteous, be relevant, put good energy out there, man. Do it from a good place. And hopefully it'll be reciprocated to you, man.
All right. I like that. Be real, righteous, and relevant. Okay. I'll put that on a t-shirt, bro. And I appreciate you joining. And Amanda, what say you, ma'am, with your final thoughts?
First of all, happy early birthday, Q.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I really enjoyed the show. I enjoyed everybody's comments and getting a chance to interact with some of the guests that I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with previously. So that was a lot of fun. Regarding the topic itself, I think that positivity is just something that's important to try to just be positive as much as you can. There's really there's almost no reason not to try to be positive. I mean, of course, you can't live in a world where you think everything's going to go your way, but you can always think of the positive. Even if you're having a bad day, I like to listen to Joel Osteen every morning. And like the topic this morning was about positivity and just finding the positivity in every day. So even if you're going through something, just being able to say, you know what, this is happening, that's happening, but it's a beautiful day. The sun is shining, I had to park way out in the parking lot. Okay, I'm blessed to have, I'm blessed to have two legs that work. I'm able to get these extra steps in or whatever. Just find positivity in everything, and I think that can help change your mind state and keep you in the right mind frame. Because if you let every little thing get to you, you let everything bring you down, then you're just hurting yourself. You're messing up your body. You're messing up your mental state. You're messing up your physical state, because the mental starts to affect the physical. So it's just important to do your best to try to stay positive the best you can. Sometimes I think one thing is, if you just really catch yourself complaining a lot, or somebody you're close to, if they're complaining a lot, maybe you can try to bring them out of it. But the main thing is to start with yourself and just be self-aware and try to be less negative. So really enjoyed everybody, and looking forward to the next time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Good to have you on. And biggity buck, I'll go with you, man. Your final thoughts.
Man, what a great show tonight. I mean, there was so much, that was discussed tonight that was just really, really good. If you're a positive person, most of the time, in most cases, that you'll attract positive people in your inner circle. And it's important for that, because that way, positive energy with the people that are around you has a positive effect as a whole on your life, on your mind, your body, your soul. If you have negative people, all it takes is just one negative person can have a impact that's so great that it could actually push away the people that you have in your life that are actually positive, because they feel that negativity and they don't want to be around that. So you have to be very conscious of who you have around you. And if you're not, I mean, it could have a negative impact on everything you do in your everyday life. So just be mindful, be mindful of who you have around you. And, that way, you want to fuel positive energy. You want to have the positive people around you to do that. And if one person could just, one bad apple, as they say, could just ruin the whole thing. So you don't want that to happen. So great show tonight. Glad to hear everybody on and have the people we have on tonight. So everybody enjoy the rest of your week.
All right, man. I appreciate you down there in the Emerald Coastline of Pensacola, Florida. And Love, I shall go to you next. You can give your final thoughts, please.
Well, I first want to say thank you, Hugh. Thank you, everyone. And happy early birthday as well.
Thank you.
And I just want to say facts are facts, but your emotions, those are the things that we deem negative and positive, right? That affect our vibe, that affect our energy and what we attract. So we constantly have to check where we are. And there is always something to be positive about, more precisely to be grateful for, no matter what's going on. And so I challenge everyone to, whenever you're feeling, overwhelmed by something, or you're feeling that you're being negative, or you notice that you're being negative, that you check yourself real quick, because positive energy really turns you around. So if you can think of 3 things real quick that are going to pull you back up, you'll probably be in a better place. And you can find me on Instagram, love.the, so love.the-look on IG, Love Tucker on Facebook. And I am the author of the book 2024. It's available on Amazon right now. I hope that I can be in Queen Cole's status soon enough and be an international best-selling book author as well. Have our books on your shelves. But thank you, everyone. And I hope you have a great rest of the week and great rest of the year as well.
All right. Thanks a lot. I appreciate your love. And shout out to Tony Watts. Said he's driving, so he's just chiming in, making his presence known. And last but not least, the homie Brad. Shut it down for me, man.
All right. Just to kind of piggyback on what everyone else is saying is that if you find yourself, in bad sorts and you're constantly complaining, you got to check yourself and say, am I creating my problems? And because, as several have said, all it takes is start changing that around, change the negative to the positive, and you can make things happen. But you need to create a plan as well. Don't just, speak positive, say good things are going to happen if you don't have a plan in place. Now, if you want to laugh, then you can check out my page, Brad's Looking for the Right Woman, on Facebook. No, it's not a dating page. I document all of my conversations that I have with scammers. So, because I felt a long time ago, I said, you know what? They're wasting all these people's time. I'm going to waste their time. And some of the stuff is pretty wacko. So it's Brad's Looking for the Right Woman on Facebook.
Oh my gosh.
Very interesting indeed. All right. I appreciate you, man. Good to see you. And so we'll go ahead and wrap things up. And, I didn't even really discuss how people attract drama. Like, it's always that person who says, I don't bother anybody, but if you do something to me, then, I wish somebody would do this and do, those people always seem to have somebody who does, do things to them or would do things to them. So, sometimes your mouth can attract drama as well. But that's going to do it for this week's T2Q. Hit that like button. And I appreciate all of you for taking the time to join the show. It means more than you'll know. Everyone enjoy the rest of their week. And be sure to hug a Scorpio today. All right? It's Scorpio season. And try not to get stung doing it. Peace out. All right.